Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
Right, so in the RFL TV interview, in the description box, if you haven't seen it already, if you have seen it, then you know what it is that this video is about, where he made a passing comment within this one that the likes of Deontay Wilder were just using his name. And this is what I've been saying, this is what you guys have been saying as well, and it was painfully obvious. Ever since Joshua defeated Vladimir Klitschko, when Deontay Wilder was in attendance to watch that one, Deontay Wilder seen something that he's never seen in his life, which is the crowd, the fans, all excited about Anthony Joshua, about a fighter. When Wilder, in his own country, nobody knows who he is. He can walk down any street in the United States of America and nobody knows who he is. He has yet to sell out even a small poxy arena. He hasn't even come close to selling any out. The last one with Tyson Fury, again, was down to Tyson Fury. And even that still wasn't a sellout. This shows the lack of value that Wilder has. And Wilder was smart in the sense of, ever since Joshua defeated Klitschko, Wilder's been using Joshua's name as clout. I want Joshua. I want Joshua. Joshua's a coward. Joshua is the slave to the white master, Eddie Hearn. Joshua was previously on steroids, and everything was negative about Anthony Joshua from Deontay Wilder, when he never had any intention of taking the fight. And this is what Joshua was saying, that too many fighters out there want to use my name, but don't actually want to fight me. And I said to this to you guys way back when, that Wilder is doing all this shouting, and I knew it didn't matter how much money was offered, didn't matter what was put forward, it just didn't matter. Him and or his team never wanted the Anthony Joshua fight. They wanted the fame. And in Deontay Wilder's latest interview with ES News, he said, I always wanted to be famous. So he used Anthony Joshua's name for that, and his fans, dumbasses that some of them are, helped him get along there by saying Wilder wants to fight. They never cared whether or not Joshua and Wilder fought. All they wanted was to make videos on it and try and get extra subscribers, views, all that kind of thing. They never wanted to fight. These guys are not true boxing fans. It's painfully obvious. Painfully obvious. All Wilder wanted to do was become famous. As he said in that last interview with ES News, go check it out. He said, I want to be famous, and now I am. By using Anthony Joshua's name. He's been cherry-picking his entire career. Wilder even said that I've always been taking low risk for high reward. That's his exact words. That tells you in itself that he knew fine well that he never wanted to fight. He doesn't want to test himself. He just wants to get paid as much money as he can without doing anything. There are too many examples. He wants to mention about the fact that, well, I accepted 15 million from Anthony Joshua and I was willing to come to the UK. Well, no, you wasn't, because you didn't sign the damn contract. How can you say I was willing to do it, and that should show in itself that I was willing to fight him, and I was willing to concede, and I was willing to travel, if you don't sign the contract? It's painfully obvious. Anybody who can't see that, you've got another agenda. People want to talk about well, it should have been at Wembley Stadium, and Eddie Hearn said that Wembley Stadium wasn't available. Well, first of all, it doesn't matter where the damn fight is. That's the first one. And second of all, Wembley wasn't an option for Wilder versus Joshua because Stephen Espinosa of Showtime didn't want it in September because it was clashing with Triple G and Canelo Part 2. Again, they want to talk about the 50 million. Again, that's been debunked 100 times. So for those who didn't know, Frank Warren admitted that the 50 million was coming from him and BT Sport. Joshua can't fight on BT Sport. It's against the contractual obligations that he has with Sky Sports. Why? Because Wilder is not his mandatory. It's a voluntary defence. And as quite a few people have said, and I'll briefly touched on it before, I think that we should start calling Anthony Joshua undisputed. And I may do a video on that one. And the reason that he is undisputed is because the other guy don't want to fight. He just doesn't want to. In fact, the other guy has lately turned down 50-50, which is Anthony Joshua's response of, all Wilder wants to do was use my name. Wilder never wanted to fight. He never did. He's turned down $100 million to fight Anthony Joshua. With the excuse, and his fans back him up on this one, well, I don't know how much Anthony Joshua's getting. Like that matters. A guy who averages 2 million per fight in Deontay Wilder gets offered 100 million for 2 fights, for undisputed, for legacy, when he says, I'm all good, I don't need the money. And when a champion calls out your name, then you step up. It's not about money, it's about legacy. One face, one name, one champion, Deontay Wilder. Speak it, believe it, conceive it. Receive it. Yeah, again, because Wilder said he wants to be pregnant. So it doesn't matter what it is that Wilder says. He knows he's going to have a fanatical cult, a fan base who will support him. They don't care about Wilder. They never did. They're only doing it because he's linked with Anthony Joshua. That's all it is. He never wanted to fight, and Joshua's fully aware of it, that he'd just been using his name, which is why, for me, Anthony Joshua is undisputed. The WBC title, because it's with Wilder, a guy who actually lost his last fight against Tyson Fury, but had to screw Tyson Fury on the scorecards to keep that belt, is a paper champion now. That WBC title has little to no value anymore because it's being treated with nothing but disrespect. He tried to fight Tyson Fury when Tyson Fury wasn't even ready and still couldn't get the job done. Luis Ortiz was failing the medical 1 hour before the ring walk when he fought Wilder. So Wilder hasn't done anything of any kind of credible note except use Anthony Joshua's name. And this is the whole point. He never wanted to fight. He will never want to fight. He's even said, even for 50-50, because you see, he keeps changing the goalpost. Originally, it was, I don't care about money, it's all about legacy. Okay, and so he's 15 million. And then the WBA got so angry after 3 months of Team Wilder not accepting and refusing to talk and respond on time. The WBA said, you know what, screw this. Joshua, you're now fighting Povetkin. Oh, see, we wanted to fight. He was always going to be fighting Povetkin. No. 3 months, boy. 3 months. Why? Because your master, Shelley Finkel, didn't want you taking that fight. Because he never had any confidence in you. Never did. Even when you won the belt on 33 fights. After defeating Jason Gavin, of all people, then you get your world title shot because you were too afraid to fight Vitaly Klitschko. You wait for him to retire. But Bermane Stiverne then picked up the vacant belt by fighting Chris Arreola, a guy who he'd already beaten beforehand, and then Wilder come in and fought Bermane Stiverne. See, again, easy cherry picks. Shelley Finkel said he's still a baby, he's still a prospect, he's not ready. So that in itself tells you that Shelley Finkel has zero faith in Wilder. So what do? They build up the profile. Wilder comes out on social media, trashes Joshua. Joshua is ignoring him, thinking, okay, why would I respond to you? Why would I let you in the ring? Why would I do this? Why would I do that when you're not willing to fight? I know you don't want to fight me, so why would I do it? So you're just a coward, Joshua sends 3 contracts. Nah, I'm not signing that. There's no date and venue. Even though there was no date and venue when he agreed to fight Tyson Fury, if you guys remember, it went past, 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks, before they actually announced a date and a venue for Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. So there's too many coincidences for him. He didn't want the fight. He didn't want the fight. Shelley Finkel didn't want the fight. Shelley Finkel could have sabotaged this whole thing because Eddie Hearn called him Shirley Winkle. And again, we know that because Shelley Finkel was unhappy about it. He openly said he was unhappy about it. Even Wilder said, his name is Shirley Finkel, not Shirley Winkle. That's disrespectful. We can't work with these kind of people. So you are denying your fans undisputed because Eddie Hearn called him Shirley Winkle. And the thing is, there'll be fans who actually back him up over this one. It doesn't matter what Wilder does. Wilder could punch a granny square in the face and they'll find an excuse to say, well, it was her fault, she deserved it. Wilder wants a body on his resume, so he says. Well, whatever it is, he's not a credible champion. He's not a role model with things that he says, the things that he does. He is making American heavyweight boxing look bad, real bad. People are looking at American boxing and thinking, is this the best that you've got? And Americans know this. I see them on a daily basis saying, this guy's embarrassing. I can't believe that we used to have Evander Holyfield, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson, etc., etc. And now we've got this guy. when he's given it $100 million to fight Anthony Joshua for undisputed. Even if he loses the first one, it's a guaranteed rematch. Even if there's a draw, it's a guaranteed rematch. But we know that Shady Finkel don't want to do it. In fact, Shady Finkel said, well, we want millions of people to watch it. That's what we want on Showtime. Which is one of the most ridiculous things you could possibly say. So they want to charge $75, $85, maybe even $100 even on Showtime for the pay-per-view. And they think that that's going to draw in a bigger crowd than as if they put it on DAZN for $20. And you get the rest of the month as well within that $20. Or just pay $100 and you get that fight plus the rematch plus any other fight for the next 12 months. But they want to rip off the fans because they want you to pay the Showtime pay-per-view. But really they don't, because they don't want the fight. So yeah, I've been saying it, you guys have been saying it. Wilder's just been using Anthony Joshua's name for clout. He never wanted to fight. His fans know that. And these guys will come up with excuse after excuse. You know who they are. The old super chat huggers, these guys. And you know that all they're after is the super chats, because they sit there doing a live stream without any kind of content, without anything to say really, except argue with people in the chat room and bumbling the words, because all they're waiting for is that little flash up of a super chat. And you people are stupid enough to pay it. Well, you know what, on you. It's your money, you do whatever you want to do. But these people are not true boxing fans. These people are not credible media reporters. They're not. They are clout chasers as well. They are using Joshua's name for views. Many of them use my name for views. And you know who you are. Anyway, it is what it is. So Anthony Joshua is fully aware that Deontay Wilder is just using his name for clout, just using his name for leverage, and he's holding that WBC title to ransom. Where else is Wilder going to get $100 million for 2 fights? Nowhere. But it's like most fighters. You know, they're quite happy taking this purse, that purse, and that purse. But when it comes to Joshua, suddenly, well, no, I want 20 million. I want this amount. I want this amount. And if it's Wilder, I want 200 million. I want exactly what it is that Joshua's getting. Even though Joshua has collected 3 of the main 4 belts, while Wilder's done absolutely sod all. Joshua has built up the heavyweight division on his own back. Wilder never has. But yet suddenly he wants 50-50 because he's got that belt. As I said before, don't need that belt. That belt has no more value than the IBO, which Joshua already has. We should replace the WBC title because these guys are, in my opinion, they're favourable to the PBC, which is not good enough. And they keep on protecting Wilder. So let's elevate the IBO and get rid of the WBC. So Joshua is undisputed. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.